Bum, ba, bum, ba, bum. Bum, 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 ba, bum. Welcome. I hope you are astonishing and very curious. Well, today is February 27th, 2026, Friday. President Donald Trump exposes billions in waste and fraud. There is unrest in the forest between Pakistan and Afghanistan. Elon reposted at 4:07 a.m. Starship V3, the biggest upgrade yet, has left the build site for pre-launch testing. Flight 12 is about to change everything. Among what's new, Raptor 3 engines, 51% more thrust, lighter, simpler design, 33 engines on booster, 6 on ship. 3 grid fins instead of 4, 50% larger, with integrated catch pins. Redesigned fuel transfer tube on Super Heavy. Fully reusable hot stage interstage. Cleaner, denser heat shield design. First launch from upgraded Pad 2. This is the version built for orbital flights, propellant transfer, and the road to Mars. Amazing. The Babylon Bee, fake news you can trust, reports. Politician on Epstein list grilled by other politicians on Epstein list. And bold right-wing truth-teller very carefully chooses words so as not to speak truths that would anger own audience. Reflecting light. 1. Competence buys you freedom. You stop needing approval because you can build and rebuild anywhere. You stop tolerating disrespect because you have options. You stop chasing validation because you have proof. The man with options does not beg, and you do not panic because scarcity is no longer your identity. 2. Some people are given to have such hatred and resentment for the ones they envy or who challenge their ego that it leads them to fantasize about that person being erased and gone. They resort to character assassination, destroying a person's life any way they can, aiming to cause them severe emotional pain, while dodging enforceable legal repercussions. Often such broken people first go after the young and the elderly, the target's loved ones. I want to comment and praise a video excerpt of an important leader for children who live through a common and prevalent pathology worldwide.
This is not pretty. It's important to talk about. Number 6, dispense diagnoses liberally. Nothing says progress like a fresh diagnosis, or 2, or 3, hell, maybe even 4 or 5. Anxiety, depression, OCD, adjustment disorder. Is this sounding familiar for you and your kids? ADHD, ADD, because the psychologically abusive parent flies under the radar. So their child is often left wondering, what's wrong with me? And the therapist, not recognizing that the child has a psychologically abusive parent, diagnoses the child with a whole bunch of crap they don't actually have. For instance, I was diagnosed first with anxiety and childhood depression, and then with OCD. The list just kept on going for 20 years. And every new therapist I went to seemed to want to add their own label, like Pokemon cards of pathology. Except I'm a person. This is my life. And each of those diagnoses stuck, not only on a medical record, but in my psyche. Meanwhile, not one of them said, hey, maybe the problem isn't you. Maybe it's that your mom has been psychologically harming you, destroying your relationship with your dad, destroying your self-esteem, destroying your mental health. And I do get it. Parents and therapists want to help their children succeed. But as Abigail Schreier so rightly explains, obtaining a diagnosis for your kid is not a neutral act. It's not nothing for a kid to grow up believing that there's something wrong with their brain. Even mental health professionals are more likely to interpret ordinary patient behavior as pathological if they are briefed on a patient's diagnosis. End quote. I want to repeat that for emphasis because this is so close to home for me. It is not nothing for a kid to grow up believing there's something wrong with their brain. It's not nothing. It's not a neutral act to obtain a diagnosis for your kid. While identifying significant problems is often the right thing to do, if your child actually has legitimate problems that can be diagnosed as such, doctor shopping and pursuing a diagnosis at any cost might truly saddle your child with a new negative understanding of themselves.
Incompetent or bad therapy teaches kids and teens to navel gaze, encourages them to ruminate, affirms and accommodates their worries, and dispenses diagnoses liberally. Two terms to define: navel gaze and ruminate. A navel gazer is someone who spends too much time thinking about their own thoughts, feelings, or problems to the point of being self-absorbed or an excessive self-contemplation. Rumination involves repeatedly thinking about negative thoughts or past events without reaching a resolution, often leading to increased anxiety and stress. In contrast, emotional processing is a constructive approach that focuses on acknowledging and working through emotions to gain clarity and promote healing. Incompetent or bad therapy misleads kids away from a healthy life, from healthy patterns of discipline, from challenge and friendship, and instead toward unneeded psychotropics. Abigail Schreier is the author of the 2020 book Irreversible Damage: The Transgender Craze Seducing Our Daughters, and the 2024 book Bad Therapy: Why the Kids Are Not Growing Up, which details her thoughts on the origins and solution to the American mental health crisis. For my daughter and for my son, their nightmare took a turn in April 2022 when my daughter refused to visit her maternal grandmother, who is a psychiatrist, and who financed my ex-wife's divorce proceedings from me from 2012 to 2015 for upholding my nuclear family unit's boundaries against her toxicity. My kids were coerced into a quantum level of a nightmare since June 30th, 2022, at the ages of 14 and 15. The perpetrator pulling mother's strings, my kids' maternal grandmother, will receive her final judgment outside of any earthly court. She and her flying monkeys will be held accountable for the lifelong harm she has caused to her own 2 daughters and to her only 2 grandchildren, who are my only 2 children. My chosen systems for life lead me to be the best and most faithful shepherd, for my own sake and that of my children. My chosen systems for life lead me to advocate for me, for my kids, and for truth. All those who are helped by my work are a collateral benefit, just as I have been helped by so many in return. Until you see me again, Duliness saves the universe. Be well, everyone.